G Reviews here to review the 2020 Toyota Highlander XLE. Let's pop the hood and check the specs. Under the hood we have a standard 3.5 liter V6 engine. We have an 8-speed automatic transmission, 295 horsepower and 263 pound-feet of torque. Miles per gallon estimates are 2027. Fuel tank capacity is almost 18 gallons, and the maximum tow capacity is 5,000 pounds. All right, so starting off with the exterior styling of the 2020 Highlander, it has been completely redone. This thing looks really aggressive. It took after the 4Runner, and then the RAV4, and then this. Really, the Highlander, I definitely like how it looks. So let's go ahead and get into some of the features. So starting up front, we do have full LED headlights and high beams, and we also have LED fog lights. Pre-collision warning, adaptive cruise, all the standard features on the XLE. Tires that this guy sits on are Bridgestones, and the rims are 18 inches. If you notice the mirror on the door rather than the A-pillar to give you better visibility outside. This is your little beeper here for your blind spot monitoring system, and these mirrors are heated as well. Coming around the back, these taillights really remind me of a Lexus. Now, again, I know Toyota and Lexus are the same. They really do, they look very good. We've got Highlander there, XLE all-wheel drive. And again, these are LED taillights as well. So again, coming around to the side, the paint is this very, very sparkly white paint. Retail on this guy is $43,732. All right, let's hop inside. Initial impressions are very good, as everything is covered in some type of soft touch material. Looking at the door panel, right where your elbow rests is a very nice kind of grippy leather. On the top, it is soft touch. It's not like plush or anything, but it is definitely soft touch. We have a plastic door panel there. I'm sure on the limited trim or the platinum trim, I'm sure they probably are a little bit better in terms of those surfaces. This is all just basic plastic. The seats, they are very comfortable. The bolstering is very good. Electronic adjustable lumbar support, and again, for a guy with a bad back, that is a fantastic feature. One that really I need. So stepping on into the 2020 Highlander here, let's go ahead and start her up. Push button start. Looking around the cabin here, everything again looks very aesthetically pleasing. The center stack we'll get to in a minute. Let's go ahead and start on the left-hand side. So over here we've got the electronic tailgate there, automatic high beams, and then we have our odometer and trip reset over there. Looking at the steering wheel, this is pretty standard Toyota affair. This leather on the steering wheel is very soft. It's probably one of the best feeling steering wheels I've felt really lately. Anything that looks metal is metal. Aluminum door handles, all this is actually aluminum. We have all of our pretty much standard controls here. This guy controls the screen, the infotainment screen, as well as the instrument cluster here. We've got volume up, volume down. We have our Bluetooth controls. As I mentioned, this does have adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist. These are your buttons for your cruise control, skip track, all that good stuff. What's really nice about this one is we have this nice big screen here in the middle of the instrument cluster here. And there are several features and functions that this guy will do. So just kind of scrolling through it, we have our different settings here. So again, pre-collision warning, blind spot monitoring. And so it'll tell you kind of where power is being sent. Driving support, again, that's going to be your cruise control settings. And then we also have our fuel economy. Moving on to the center stack, again, this is going to be very reminiscent of a RAV4. If you've ever sat in a RAV4, it's just a little bit bigger and has a more presence. So again, we have that same, I believe it's the same 8-inch touchscreen here from the RAV4. Thank you, Toyota, for not only making it touchscreen, but also having hard buttons on the side here. This does have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, different audio settings, Bluetooth, Sirius XM, all that normal stuff. This does have a very nice, I believe it's a 6-speaker audio system. In terms of the climate controls, we do have heated seats on this guy. In the upper trim levels, you'd have cooled seats here. That's what this blank button's for. Something cool about the climate control system here is we've got this really nice digital display in each of the dual climate controls. So it's pretty cool. So it doesn't take any real estate on your main screen. You've got these right there. So you've got all of your various climate controls here. You have your fan speed. If you want to sync them up just so they change the same, you can do that. Rear climate, all that fun stuff. Again, we've got heated seats on this side as well. Moving on down, we have a storage cubby. Got a couple different USB ports down here, and we also still have our standard 12-volt car outlet. Back from there, we have our shifter. Pretty standard Toyota, right? We've got the various shift gates, and we also have a manual mode up and down. A big old Yeti cup fits in these cup holders, no problem. Moving back from there, we have our various drive modes. So we have Sport, Normal, and Eco. And in the gauge cluster, it'll tell us what mode we're in. It basically makes the shifts faster and holds gears a little bit longer. In addition to the normal engine modes, we also have different mud and sand mode. We have normal mode and then rock and dirt mode. Again, it's just gonna change how the power is sent to the different wheels for slipping, things like that. So we'll just go ahead and leave that in normal mode. Right next to that, we've got our electronic parking brake. Our hold button, so if you're on a hill, it'll hold the car basically without having to step on the brake. Traction control off, snow mode. We have hill descent assist, so you can set different speeds where it'll hold your car at going down a steep hill. And then we have auto start stop on this vehicle, so that is your button to turn that off. Looking at the center console here, the middle is soft touch, although I will say it's a little bit slippery. I typically like to see kind of more plush leather here, so it's really grippy. The sides are grippy, but this middle part isn't that grippy. So it's kind of interesting how they do this. The whole thing doesn't necessarily open up. It's just this middle part, which slides back. And as you can see, it says charging wirelessly. So down in here, we've got this little tray. And then we got some more storage down here, and it's actually quite a large space. It's very deep. It's not very wide, but it is a very deep space, which is nice. Okay, so that's what the center console of the Highlander looks like. We have our key charging pad there. So if you have your phone in there, I guess you could technically shut it if you want. Leave it charging, Bluetooth, all that fun stuff. So that is that. Let's go ahead and hop in the back seat. This seat in front of me is all the way back, so there's actually quite a bit of space here. And you have the different controls right here. So if we want to move the seat front and back, right, you can move this all the way forward and have no leg room. You can also move it all the way back and have cavernous amounts of space. Again, I'm 5'9.5". I've got probably 3 inches of headroom on top, and we'll go ahead and do a little walk around in the back. Okay, so looking at the door panel in the back seat, we have that same leather material. We have hater blockers, which are always appreciated. For the kids, we have at least one cup holder, some other little cubbies here, another little cubby here maybe for a cell phone. On the side of the seat, how you get in the back seat, there's a couple different ways. So we have something on the top of the seat for the person in the back seat to get out. But if you want to hop in the back seat, you can either pull this lever, right? And then you can get in that way. So that's how you get in the back seat. There's also anchors for child seats. So let's go ahead and hop in. So looking around in the back seat, nice soft touch materials. Let's go ahead and turn these lights on. Incandescent light bulbs. Come on, Toyota, get some LEDs. But we have pockets in both the passenger and driver. Back here we have our own climate controls. So we can turn up the fan, down up the volume. We can either do it on the face or the... And something very interesting, I've never had vent so close to my face. If you can see, this is my face, this is the vent. It's probably 5 inches from my face, so that's kind of interesting how how close that thing is to my face. But anyway, I guess it's effective, right? So I did forget to mention there's a pretty decent sized sunroof in the front. In the middle here we have a couple cup holders, and I believe this piece of plastic is removable. This is again the upper trim model, so it's not going to have a bench seat. The other, the LE would have a bench seat here, so you get an additional storage spot. This does have armrests on kind of both sides. You have it on the door as well as here. So that's that. That's the second row. Let's go ahead and hop in the third row and show you what that's like. Alright guys, just know I'm doing this for your entertainment. Sitting back here, the seat bottom is, I don't know, maybe 6 inches from the floor. I mean, again, I'm not a tall person, but my knees are really high. I have no room back here, I'm trapped. If you move that seat a little bit forward, I definitely have some space. I'm not gonna be comfortable for a long trip for sure, but anyway, there's not a whole lot to talk about back here. It does have a third row for short people or children, so I think that would be a good spot for them. It's electronic. How much space we have here. Let's go ahead and toss these 2 rows, this row forward. There we go. There we go. Okay, so now that we have the third row folded, we do have a good amount more space. And I like that the seats have this little rubberized surface so stuff doesn't fall in between the seat rows. All right, so that's that. Lots of space, awesome. All right, let's go ahead and take this puppy for a drive. All right, guys, so let's take this 2020 Highlander XLE for a little test drive. So let's get it out on the road. I've already warmed it up, so, and I have the optional V6. This also does come with a smaller 4-cylinder as well. The 4-cylinder model offers 243 horsepower, and that is the hybrid option. Overall, I would say, I mean, this is it's a very nice place to be. The seat's very comfortable. I've got the adjustable electronic lumbar support all the way up, so my back is just loving it. It actually has a lot of pickup, surprisingly. Those 295 horsepower. Really do the job. And I'm seeing an older Highlander over here on the right-hand side, and kind of looks like I said, it kind of looks like a little bit of a minivan. This guy has a much more aggressive look to it, which I really like. I could actually see myself potentially getting into one of these at some point. So I just went over a line in the road. It's they're doing construction, and it alerted me that I was kind of going over one of the lines. It does have blind spot monitoring. Obviously has a backup camera. The RAV4 is Toyota's highest selling vehicle, and you can really see why. I mean, they're great value for money. They retain their resale value. They get great gas mileage. They have a good amount of space. The Highlander just takes that RAV4 formula and just ramps it up just to be a little bit bigger, have a little bit more storage space, and frankly, just be an all-around even more complete package than the RAV4. So I think they'll do very well with this new updated Highlander overall. The brakes are very good, and they're not super touchy, which I like. Having really touchy brakes just drives me nuts. These are just very linear brakes. Doesn't require too much effort. It's good. And for the mom, for the dad that's got, a few kids that don't want an SUV or don't want a minivan, a Highlander is going to be a great middle ground between an all-around SUV that gets good gas mileage, it looks good, it has lots of different features, and frankly, I mean, it's good for really anybody. It's like I said, it's a very nice place to be. And one thing I really like, just as a guy, I love like a kind of a bulging hood, and looking out on the hood of the Highlander, you actually have this nice contoured hood. And if you test drive one, you'll see exactly what I mean. The hood it's like two sides, and in the middle, it's very contoured. So it looks very aggressive. It looks very mean. From the inside, it feels very powerful, which I love. So if you look, right, so it's got the different where it's sending power. Something really neat that I just noticed, I guess it has a GPS system that tells you the speed limit, because down here it says speed limit 40. That's pretty neat. It actually tells you the speed limit. So guys, as we come back to the dealership, closing thoughts. The Highlander is a great vehicle. It's, like I said, it's just a big RAV4, and the RAV4 is already a really, really good SUV, mid-size SUV. The Highlander is very capable. It's four-wheel drive. It's going to do everything that you need it to do. It's going to be reliable. It's going to last a long time. I can't really speak specifically to that, but just knowing Toyota quality in general, you know, I don't know why this one would be any different. So anyway, guys, this has been Scott with G-Reviews. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll come out with some more great content for you. If you have any questions on the 2020 Highlander, please let me know. I would be happy to help. And again, I have borrowed this guy from Route 44 Toyota in Raynham, Massachusetts. So if you guys have any questions, or if you want to check this Highlander out, please be sure to give them a call. I will go ahead and put a link in the description. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care. This has been Scott with you.